Hi, welcome back to day 11 of the Light the World, Build the Kingdom Challenge, where each day we ask God what is one thing we can do to build the kingdom, to make the world a better place, and then act more proactively on the answer that we get. Today I want to talk about the concept of surrender. You know, there's the old spiritual song, I surrender all. And a lot of times we think of surrendering as that white flag of surrender. In my book, Light the World, How Your Brilliance Can Shift the Planet, one of the very first steps necessary to become someone who can light the world, who can be a conduit of God's light into the world, is to surrender. And so sometimes we think in terms of, oh man, that's just a broken place, a really broken down, beat up place where you realize that you don't have the power to do anything, and you give God the glory that He's the one who's in charge. He's the one who's going to make things right. And sometimes that place can also be such a broken down place that you lose any expectation of anything good happening, and you just sort of settle for your lot in life, that wherever God may want to toss you around, or life might want to toss you around, that you're willing to go there, and you kind of give up on your dreams. And I don't really think that space right there is where God wants us to stay forever. I don't really think that type of surrender is the ultimate surrender that He's looking for. I think it's a step beyond that, because that broken place is not, it's not empowering, okay? It's just defeated, you know? And there's a place of surrender beyond that that is more about trust, 100% trust and faith, where you can look back on the things that have happened in your life that were hard, that were difficult, that were heartbreaking, and you can see that God's hand was in it, or that He carried you through it, and that no matter what you're going to go through in life, He's got your back. And you can see sort of the finger of the Lord, so to speak, in all the different aspects of your life. And that level of surrender, that deeper level where it's more of a peaceful trust and not a defeated, broken on the ground surrender, but more of a surrender of, I trust your will, I trust your timing, I trust that you know what you're doing, that's what we're looking for. And this really got driven home to me this past summer. I was at a conference, and I was a leader of a group of women on that day. There were like 10 different groups, and I was like the captain of one of the groups, and I was leading it. And on that day, as a captain, I was assigned to just give my team points for whatever they earned that day. They would do different activities, and the theme of the day is more is better. And it was really kind of trying to teach the women that more is not necessarily better. They got extra points if they got second helpings or third helpings on their food, or if they made the biggest sandcastle, or they stuffed the most marshmallows in their mouth, or whatever. And it was kind of it was a beach day at this event. And we started off the first event, and I assigned my team a certain level of points. And I knew that I knew the behind the scenes of that day, and I knew I could keep handing out points whenever I wanted to, and that I was supposed to keep handing even more points, just crazy by the end of the day. But my team didn't know that. And so this one girl, she wanted to really compete and do her best, and she wanted to win the day. And so there was the very first event, and she came up to me, and she kind of polled and see what the other captains were giving their teams, and she said, I think we need 360 points for this activity, Marnie. How many did you give us? And I had already written it down, and I put down 80. And she's like, 80? Come on, Marnie, you know. And I looked at her, and I said, I just winked at her, and I said, trust me, just trust me. And she looked at me with this look like, maybe Marnie knows something I don't. And she went, okay, I'll trust you. And for the rest of the day, she trusted me. She didn't gripe over the points I assigned or anything. And through a twist of, I won't go into all the details, my team ended up winning. And in fact, this particular girl won the whole prize of the whole day, which was really cool to me, because it it drove home the fact that when we throw ourselves in, because this girl held nothing back, she put everything into her activities, and she trusted me explicitly. And so every time I think, oh, is God going to help me with this, or am I going to get any help with that, or is this going to work out, or whatever, I see that girl looking at me with those eyes of complete and utter trust that, you know something I don't know. I'll trust you. Okay. And just that explicit trust. And then it gives me the courage to do that with God and to look at Him with those eyes and go, okay, doesn't look like it's going to pan out. Looks kind of scary, but you know something I don't. I'm going to trust you. And so that event just really, I just learned a lot from that one girl at that event, and how we can be when it's a surrender of confident faith, confident trust, and not this white-knuckled, I'm going to take and just suffer through whatever, and not expecting good things. I think that type of surrender is only a step to the greater level of surrender. And I don't know that I can tell you how to get there. I don't, but maybe just pray if you feel like you need that type of surrender, that kind that just is explicit trust. Maybe think about that story and then ask God to help you just relax into that kind of surrender, because that kind makes things happen. And I know from my own life that the moment that I just gave everything to God and said, you know, it doesn't matter. All those dreams I had, they really don't matter. Whatever you want, I'm fine. I'm going to be okay. I trust you're helping me through this moment. You're going to help me through the next, whatever it is. As soon as I did that, then it was like all the blessings rushed in to fill the space. So I don't know. I can't guarantee it's going to happen as fast as it did for me, but I do believe there is an amazing power in surrender, that level of complete trust.